Some students have been gathering nearby at a church, and on the phone is Phil Kazen, the pastor of that church. Pastor Kazen, what can you tell me? What's happening outside of your church?
The church parking lot has been used for the buses and the police vehicles, busing the students from the school, which is the property adjoining our church property. They brought them into the church and then got identification, names, and birth dates, and then linked them up with parents who have arrived to take the students home.
And Pastor, has your church then been established as a reunification point, or was this just the nearest point where some of the students were being brought?
Well, they brought probably, my estimation would be 500 to 600, perhaps more, busing them here, and then being able to take a roll count, and parents were coming, and then they were checked out with students and parents as they exited.
And some school administrators, some teachers coming along with some of those students?
Yes. Quite a few school personnel that seemed to know the students. There was one group of challenged students. We brought them into a different room with their wheelchairs, etc., and then they were able to identify them, and parents could retrieve them from there.
And you said about 500 to 600 students were initially brought in, and how many are there now?
They've done a remarkable job. There's probably only about 50 or 60 students currently here waiting for parents or guardians to arrive. Most of the other ones have gone. The FBI was here, and they took students who had witnessed. They took them to several classrooms and interviewed them there, aside from the others.
What has been the emotional state and the response of these students as they're coming into this church?
I'm pleasantly surprised with the emotional state of most. Of course, there are some who are breaking down, and a lot of hugging going on, but the status has been somber and very controlled.
And how has been? Have you been seeing some of the parents picking their children up as well? Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And what has been their response?
The parents have mostly been consoling to the students. A lot of times, or several times, when the students saw their parents, then they became a little more emotional, and they hugged, and then they were in line for checking out.
How did you first find out? Were you at the church at the time when those students first came in? I guess how did you first find out about this shooting?
I wasn't. One of our members lives next door to the church, and so when the people started to arrive in the parking lot, she opened the church up so that there would be restroom facilities and a place to sit down, and then she called me, and I came here.
And right now you said you have about 50 or 60 students there that are still waiting to be picked up by parents or guardians?
Yes, correct.
And how do they seem to be doing?
Pardon me?
How do they seem to be doing?
They're very calm.
Do any of them seem that they want to talk about this, or are most of them keeping to themselves?
Some are talking with each other. Some are just very calm, and I actually haven't talked with any of them per se on the activity. I've just been kind of helping to organize things and keep the thing in organization.
Have any of them gone up to you and said that they wanted to speak to someone, whether it be speak to their parents, speak to a psychiatrist, speak to police?
None at this point. The announcement originally was made to those that had seen or heard or had firsthand evidence, and then they were separated out to a different area for the FBI to interview them.
Can you describe a little bit about your community?
Community is a fairly quiet community. It's a rural community. We're about 45 miles north of Seattle. It has been a growing community. Not a lot of difficulties in the community up until we did have a situation last week where the Marysville police were shot at.
Does something like this surprise you that it's happening in your community?
It is surprising for the community, but I guess not surprising in the fact that humankind is susceptible to these kinds of things.
And you had said, Pastor, that the FBI came into the church there looking for any students that might have witnessed this. Was there a large number that they were speaking to?
Probably 25.
About 25 students that had seen it?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, have police said that they intend on creating your church as the reunification point, or has that not been established?
Well, they have used the building and the parking area. There are still buses and police units down at the gate of the school with lights flashing and that there. Most of the reuniting of parents has taken place here now, and people are moving out.
I imagine there's some very, very deep hugs when those parents are coming up to pick up their students.
There are.
At this point, have police said at all if they plan on moving those 50 or 60 students that are still in your church parking lot and inside the church itself, if they're going to be moving them either to a city hall or to another place?
Actually, most of them, majority of them have been moved out, and I didn't see where if they put them back on a bus or where they went. I'm in a quieter part of the church, but there is a bus load that is just leaving the parking lot, and so perhaps that would be them.
So some of them are leaving that. Do you have any first responders or any police in the church parking lot?
Yes, there are many first responder and police vehicles in the parking lot now.
Okay. Pastor Phil Kazen, Pastor, we appreciate your time, and obviously our thoughts are with you and with your community during this time.